All right. So the first thing you said about that one girl where you said, oh, she'll do it and then act weird. So I know you said weird, you said aloof, you said just basically not as forward/receptive as she was at the beginning is basically what you mean. So there's two reasons why girls do this. One, there's two mindsets, okay? If she is not open to hooking up that night, then the reason she's doing it is it's not necessarily... See, because guys think that when girls want validation, it's like, oh, super manipulative and they fucking hate you and they're being pieces of shit and all this other stuff. Everyone wants validation. Like I think I actually said this in one of the last audios I left. Like, everyone wants validation for certain things. Sometimes it's harmless, sometimes it's harmful, whatever. But, so, if she's out and she's not looking for a hookup, then she's not necessarily looking for validation, usually. Sometimes it is, but it's kind of more girls like experiences, and they like emotions in the moment. So, let's see. So, like, each part of, like, the process, whether it's approaching or actually having the conversation, getting the number, texting, going on the date, hooking up back at your place, those all have, like, different emotions and a different experience associated with them. Now, for guys, most of the time, the best part is obviously just having the sex. Like, that's the part most guys care about. Girls care about all the other portions of it. Girls like getting approached most of the time. If they are open, they're like receptive, they're in a good mood, and also they are looking for a guy, and also they're attracted to you and all this other stuff. They like it. And they like the conversation. They like, oh, this guy asked for my number, this guy who I'm interested in, oh my god. They like the date. They like getting pulled. They like all these different parts of the process, I mean, for different reasons, and they all kind of have their own emotional, like, texture to it. So sometimes a girl just wants to experience one specific emotion or one specific experience. So sometimes, yeah, what they'll do is they will go and they'll make out with a guy. Or they'll make out with the guy, and then they'll even kind of dance and, like, get close and, like, touch all over each other. But they were never really going to hook up. It was just they wanted to experience that experience and all the emotions associated with it. It's not manipulative. It's not, the girl's looking for validation because she's a big dumb bitch or whatever. It's just that she wanted to experience something, and the other guy was complicit in it. Like, the other guy, like, let her do it and did it back. And so she got what she wanted, and so now she's done. Like, people do that with everything. Guys will hook up with girls and lie to them and do all this stuff and then sleep with them and then not talk to them again. Or, people will do different things like that. So I guess you could say it's manipulative, quote unquote. But I mean, if that's your standard for manipulative, then everyone's technically manipulative, So, if they're not looking to hook up, then that's the reason they do that. It's not validation. It's not like taking advantage of you necessarily. And actually, for a girl to even... Because there's like attention validation and there's sexual validation. So here's the thing that you might not realize is that if a girl picked you, even if she doesn't hook up with you, if a girl picked you to get sexual validation from or have an experience with, that means that she values you. Like, do you think that she would have wanted to make out with some guy who she wasn't attracted to? Or she would have wanted to have an experience, like let's say she just wanted the experience. She wants the experience with a guy who she's attracted to. So the thing is that even the times where a girl will just use you, quote unquote, for the experience, she would only use a guy who she's actually attracted to. So that is still a compliment. Girls will not use guys for sexual validation. Attention validation, yeah, she'll get that from anyone, and she doesn't give a fuck. So, like, if she talked to you and she got you to buy her a drink and then she said, fuck you, bye, then yes, that would be different. But she used you for sexual validation. Girls only use guys for sexual validation if they're attracted to them. So even though she didn't hook up with you, that is still an indication that she was attracted to you. And under the right circumstances, maybe she didn't have a boyfriend or she blah, 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 whatever, she would have hooked up with you. All right? So that's if she's not ready to hook up. If she is open to hooking up that night, then the reason why she would do that and then kind of quote unquote pull back, it's not because she's playing games. I mean, it could be that she's putting feelers out there, like maybe she's kind of trying with multiple guys throughout the night, but I mean, guys do the same thing, so you can't really blame her, you know, like, that's what approaching is. Guys go out and they approach and they try it with a whole bunch of different girls, so, like, girls do the same thing, just kind of at a lower level. But if she does that and then she pulls back and she's, like, kind of staying there, that's because men are expected to take the lead. And not expected, like we should. That is the man role. Like, men are the ones who accomplish it. We push through. We get shit done. So what she's doing is she's putting like a feeler out there. She's like, okay, hey, by the way, I'm letting you know I'm interested. Okay, now what are you gonna do about it? So she's not being weird. She is letting you know she's interested, and then she's falling back into her feminine role, which is receiving and following, and she's expecting you to take the masculine role and lead and push through and escalate and make shit happen. So I don't know which one it was, whether she just wanted the experience or she actually wanted to hook up with you, but just so you know, when a girl does that, these are the only two reasons. Either she just wanted the experience, but she would only ever want a sexual experience with a guy who she's attracted to, so that's still good, or she pulled back and then you got all in your head and shit and you didn't push through, which is what she wanted you to do. Like, girls have this view of guys as like super confident and they go for what they want. They're animals, you know? So all she was doing was like, it's basically the equivalent of, hey, I'm interested. Now do something. Now do your job, because that is your job. It's never the girl's job. That's not playing games. That is, yeah, I know I already said it a bunch, but just concisely, she's not playing games. She was letting you know she's interested, and then she's like, okay, I'm interested. Okay, now let's both play our parts. I'll play the feminine part, you play the masculine part, and you didn't play the masculine part. And yeah, so calibrating to girls is a big reason why guys lose out on lays. What guys will do is they'll go, okay, so women get a lot of their beliefs and mindset and like how they view the world and what they're supposed to do. They get a lot of their stuff from like the external world. Like, that's why advertising works so well on women. That's why women are like a huge portion of the consumer base, because it's easier to manipulate them with like social pressure and advertising and stuff. So the girl is actually most of the time looking to the guy to see what to do. But a lot of guys in America, because America is so fucking feminized and shit, that guys have forgotten that they're the ones that are the boss. They're the ones that are supposed to move shit forward. So when she pulled back, you got all in your head, and which, by the way, is understandable. Like 99 fucking % of guys think like this, and they're like, well, she did this, and so that means I shouldn't have. No. What guys do is they'll see a girl do something, they'll overthink it, they'll try to interpret it and all this stuff, and that'll make them second guess the thing that they're supposed to do. So, but what you have to do is you have to kind of ignore the girl's games. Like, you don't need to calibrate. You don't need to be like, well, because she did this, now I'm gonna pull back a little bit. No, the girl's expecting you to take the masculine role and fucking keep pushing forward. You'll learn this more as you go on. These are all lessons that, like, I could tell them to you, and even if you accept them 100% right at the beginning, logically, to get it to where it's ingrained in you and you actually act on it, it's really hard. It takes a long time. This is a long journey. So next thing. So yeah, archetypes and like different demographics being more or less receptive, that is definitely a thing. Once you get good enough, you will get results with any type of girl. Because all girls, here's the thing, is that all girls are attracted to the same things, and archetypes are just different variations of all those things. That's it. So, or I should say girls are attracted to different variations of the same core things that all girls are fucking attracted to. So, when you get good enough, like, yeah, if you're alt and you go to like some really preppy whatever fucking thing, yes, you will get less results on average. Like the spectrum or whatever, the midpoint, it's going to shift over to the left, like kind of to the negative side a little more. But that doesn't mean you can't get any results. And one of the things about being an archetype that is different from the one like of your surroundings is that, yes, on average, you will have less girls be interested because it's less likely that they're into that demographic. But that smaller amount of girls who are into you are going to be really into you, okay? Because I'll do this little thing real quick. So there's 3 types of tribes that girls will hook up with. It's their current tribe, a tribe they want to be a part of, or a tribe they just want to visit. Okay? If you don't think that there's some preppy girl out there who is into some like whatever emo or grunge or fucking rock or whatever music, and she's seen some like fucking tatted out pale guy with fucking like chains and wearing all black, if you don't think none of those girls have ever looked at one of those guys and been like, yeah, that guy's hot as fuck, then you are delusional. So I had this friend in Austin when I lived there like fucking 4 years ago or however long ago it was, and he was like hippie alt. Like he was a little bit like, yeah, he was like alt, but he was a white guy and he had dreads, and he was also pretty chill. I don't know how to describe it. It was like kind of grungy hippie alt. And he would hook up with the girls a decent amount, but he's like, yeah, you know, I want to be with like some kind of like preppy or whatever he said girl. And I was like, you probably could get one of them. Like I've known girls who were hood girls, and they're really attracted to like this clean-cut, blonde-haired, blue-eyed guy or whatever. And then I've seen girls who are little goody two-shoes, and then they like the fucking drug dealer or whatever the fuck. And I told him, I was like, just start approaching him. And there was a Whole Foods and a Target. It was like one of those, you know, like the buildings are like in the same building or whatever. And I was like, yeah, just go start talking to him. And it took him a little bit, but he did hook up with one, and actually kept her as a plate for like a month and a half or something like that, because he was so outside of what she was used to that it was interesting to her. And also she admitted, she's like, yeah, I always kind of really liked this type of guy, but I've just never been with one before. And so yes, did he have a lower percentage than if he himself was preppy? Yes. But oh well, like a lot of the preppy guys, if they wanted to go for the alt girls, there's a lot of fucking guys who, you know, that whole big titty goth GF thing. There's a lot of preppy guys who want to go for the alt girls, but they feel like they shouldn't or they can't because it's weird or whatever the fuck. Kind of the same thing you're thinking. And if they tried it with those girls, they would also have a lower likelihood of it working out. Like, that's just how shit goes. But what you're doing is you're not looking at the nuance. You're not looking at the spectrum of results. You're viewing it as just black and white. Like, I can get these girls and I can't get these girls. Instead of viewing it like, I can get both of these girls, one I can just get more than the other. That's it. I promise, I absolutely fucking promise you that's it. And I know you don't know this yet because, you know, whatever. But I'm just, all these ideas are just things to just at least be open to. Like, at least be open to them, that they could possibly be true. I don't expect you to like believe me 100% truth right now, but just be open to the fact that it could be true. I know secretly you kind of hope it's true. Like, you're kind of looking you're looking for some positivity. I know you are. Like, yeah, you are negative. All negative people are secretly really, really looking for positivity. The thing is that they don't actually work to find the positivity. That's the mode you're in right now. You like, yeah, it sucks. Like, if you have this mindset for whatever reason, but you do have to work to find the positivity. But then once it's there, you can't unsee the data, and now you know that that's a thing that's possible, and you'll stop thinking all shitty. You think that how you feel about the world is the real world. But when you're super negative, you ignore positive data points. Because one thing about people who are negative, a lot of them think they're just being realistic, or they see the world for how it really is. No, I just gave you a whole bunch of fucking data points of ways that you're wrong, and you're completely thinking the wrong way about it. If you are way too delusionally positive, you'll miss out on some negative data points that are pertinent. And if you're way too delusionally negative, you'll miss out on positive data points that are relevant. That's what you're doing. You are not being, I don't know if this is how exactly you think. Most negative people think this way. You are not being realistic. You are not seeing the world for how it is. You are viewing the world delusionally. You are missing out on certain things, like you just are. And it's not, like, I know depending on exactly how negative you are, like, you maybe don't think the positive data points exist, or the thing, well, they exist, but not for me. But you don't know that because you haven't even actually done work to go out and even find the data points. Yeah, you haven't even worked hard enough to even know. You don't even know that they're not there for you. You literally don't know. You looked at some shit online. You were like, well, now I think this is true. But literally, your viewpoint is boiling down to two things. I don't know exactly whatever happened to you previously in life, the combination of all that, and then all the shit you've read online, stuff that's not real world experience, and then you're just like, well, I guess this is how the world is. It's completely fucking not. You have not explored enough of the world to know at all. This is the point you're at. We're in the exploring point to even find the fucking data points. All your things, all these will be disproven eventually if you just do enough work. Like, they will. The thing is that you're expecting results quickly. Like, read my very first post on Reddit. I don't know if you've read all those. I'll link you to my fucking my subreddit. My very first post I ever put on there was, you're going to suck at first, and that's okay. You have not yet fully accepted that you just do, like, dude, like, now I think you actually have a lot of potential, and you're not like bad, like, conversationally or whatever. I can tell you have good social skills and just good relatability underneath your negativity and your somewhat lack of confidence. But yeah, you just are going to suck. Like, that's it. Everyone sucks at everything when they first start out. You haven't fully accepted it. You have to go into these approaches being like, well, I'm probably not going to do well, but this is required to get to the better place. It's not going to be like this forever. So, yeah. I think you're still too much trying to do these approaches, and I have to do good. No, you are just going to suck. Like, that's it. You are. Just accept it and be like, well, if I do enough of these sucky approaches, I won't suck eventually.